She thought she knew how her wedding day would go. Then she heard the two people closest to her planning something she was never meant to hear.
Vivian Hartley had planned every second of her wedding day, the same way she planned every project at her design studio, with precision, backup plans, and zero room for chaos. She was 29, sharp-eyed, and known in her industry for staying calm when everyone else panicked. Today, she told herself, would be no different. Except today was her own wedding, and the groom waiting for her at the altar was Weston Calloway, the man she had built a life with for 4 years. The ceremony was set at Belmore Lake Estate, a stone manor house with tall windows overlooking still autumn water. Copper leaves drifted across the lawn. String lights hung low between the trees. Vivian had designed the entire layout herself, down to the exact shade of ivory linen on each table. Everything looked the way she wanted it to look. Controlled, beautiful, hers. An hour before the ceremony, she slipped away from the bridal suite to find a quiet bathroom near the east hallway. She wanted 5 minutes of silence before she became someone's wife. She had just washed her hands when she heard the door creak open in the small alcove outside. 2 voices, low, familiar. She froze with her hands still under the faucet. It was Weston and her younger sister, Delphine. "She cannot find out today," Weston said, his voice tight and fast. "Not today, not ever, if we do this right." "You think I want her to find out?" Delphine snapped back, quieter but sharper. "I have kept this quiet for 6 months, Weston. 6 months of pretending I am happy for both of you." Vivian's hand went still on the faucet handle. The water kept running, but she barely heard it now. She stood there, heart pounding once, hard, then settling into something colder and steadier. "After the wedding, once the accounts are merged, it will be easier," Weston continued. "Once her studio funds are tied into the joint account, I can move the numbers around without anyone asking questions. Her business partner already trusts me. That is the whole point of doing this now, before she brings in that investor next month." Vivian's stomach turned, but her face in the mirror did not change. She had expected, in some terrible flicker of a thought, to hear something about romance, an affair, a secret. She had braced herself for heartbreak of one kind. What she got instead was worse, and in a strange way, clearer. This was not about love. This was about money. Her studio, the one she had built from nothing over 6 years. "And when she finds out you spent her expansion fund on your development deal," Delphine asked. "Because at some point, Weston, she will find out. She is not stupid. By then it will not matter. The deal will have closed, the property will be under my name, and there will not be anything left to argue about. She will be furious for a week, then she will get over it, because what choice will she have? We will be married." Vivian turned off the faucet. She did not move. She simply listened to her own pulse and let the information settle into place, piece by piece, like reading a contract for the first time and catching every clause written against her. She thought of the joint account paperwork Weston had asked her to sign 2 weeks ago, the one he called just a formality for the wedding. She thought of the investor meeting he had insisted on attending with her, taking detailed notes on her studio's finances. She thought of every small comment Delphine had made over the past few months about being so happy for her sister, comments that now sounded rehearsed rather than warm. She dried her hands slowly on the small hand towel by the sink, folded it, and set it back exactly where it had been. Then she opened the door and stepped into the alcove as if she had heard nothing at all. Weston's face went pale for half a second before he caught himself. Delphine's mouth opened, then closed. "There you are," Vivian said, her voice light and even. "I wondered where everyone disappeared to. Wes, they need you for photos with your parents." "Delphine, Mom is asking about the seating chart for table 6. "Right. Of course," Weston said, recovering quickly. "You look beautiful, by the way." "Thank you," Vivian said, letting him kiss her cheek, her expression unreadable and pleasant. She watched him walk away, and only then did her jaw tighten, just slightly, just for herself. Delphine lingered. "Vivi, table 6, Vivian said simply, already turning back toward the bridal suite. She did not raise her voice. She did not accuse. Not yet. She needed facts, not feelings. Back in the suite, she quietly had her assistant Renata pull up the joint account documents from the shared drive. Vivian read through them in under 4 minutes, while a makeup artist touched up her lipstick, her expression never shifting. The account structure gave Weston unrestricted transfer access to funds that included the exact amount she had earmarked for her studio's expansion. She had 25 minutes until the ceremony started. Vivian did not cancel the wedding in a scene of tears and shouting. That was not who she was, and it was not the ending this deserved. She called her lawyer, Farah Okonkwo, and asked one question. Could the account structure be frozen if it was never formally activated? Farah confirmed it could, as long as the marriage certificate had not been filed and the account paperwork had not been finalized with the bank. Nothing was final, not yet. Then, Vivian made a decision that surprised even her assistant. She would go through with the ceremony as planned, publicly, calmly, in front of 200 guests, her business partner, and the investor flying in specifically to see her handle herself under pressure. She would not give Weston and Delphine the version of this day where she fell apart. She would give them the version where she stayed exactly who she was. The ceremony began on time. Vivian walked down the aisle in ivory silk, steady and composed. When it came time for her vows, she had quietly rewritten them in the last 20 minutes. I promised myself a long time ago that I would build something no one could take from me, she said, her voice carrying clearly across the lawn. A business, a name, a life built on my own decisions. Marriage was supposed to add to that, not take from it. Today I learned exactly what kind of partnership I was being offered. Weston's smile went tight, sensing something wrong but unable to place it in front of an audience. So instead of vows, I am going to make an announcement. The joint account paperwork will not be signed. My studio's expansion proceeds exactly as planned, under my name, with my terms, starting Monday. The officiant blinked. Weston's smile collapsed. Delphine, seated in the front row, went white. I am not going to make a scene at my own wedding, Vivian continued, because that is not who I am. But I am going to be honest. An hour ago, I heard a conversation I was not meant to hear, about moving my money into a deal I never agreed to, closed before I could ask questions. I do not need a scene for that. I just need the truth, said once, in front of the people who came to witness this day. She turned to Weston. I hope the property deal works out for you. It will not be funded by my studio. She did not cry. She did not raise her voice. She simply handed her bouquet to her stunned assistant, thanked the officiant, and walked back down the aisle alone, past 200 guests who would talk about this wedding for years, though not for the reasons anyone expected. 3 months later, Vivian's studio closed its expansion round with the investor, who later told her it was the most convincing pitch he had ever seen, though she had not said a word about business. Delphine moved out of state. Weston's development deal collapsed without the funding he had been counting on, and the property reverted to the bank within the year. Vivian kept the lake house venue in her portfolio of favorite project sites and referred 3 other clients there within the year. She never spoke publicly about Weston again. She did not need to. Her work did the talking, and for the first time in a long while, every account under her name belonged entirely to her.
Vivian never raised her voice. She never made a scene. She just walked away with everything that was hers and left the 2 people who betrayed her with nothing but the wreckage they built themselves. If you believe walking away can be the loudest answer of all, tell me in the comments, and subscribe for more stories like hers.